For more incredible action figures and collectibles, including the one seen in this review, check out Lindsay's Toy Room at www.lindsays.toyroom.com. Hello YouTube, and welcome to Turmoil in the Toybox. I'm your host, Aaron Hauser, and today we're going to be reviewing the NECA 8-inch retro Jason and Freddy figures. These are based off of the Mego style of action figure from the 70s, and this is the second series that NECA has released, aside from their Django Unchained line, which has since been canceled, unfortunately. And this is a very cool throwback to the retro sort of figures from the 70s, early 80s. And as you can see, these are not done in the typical NECA style of their 7-inch figures. These actually have cloth clothing, come with a couple different accessories, tons of articulation, and are very, very, very cool looking on display. Now, for those of you who maybe think it's a little weird that they come with the cloth clothing and stuff, if you check out some of the older, more retro figures from the 70s, this was the style that they released a lot of their figures in. Lines like Batman, the Bionic Man, tons of different series figures were released in this style. So it's very cool that NECA's trying to revive that sort of collectible mentality with the Mego style figures with this line. And I think jumping into the horror figures, the ones that they already have different licenses for, specifically the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street series, I think that's a very cool move. So I picked each of these guys up from lindsays.toyroom.com for about $25 each plus shipping and handling. And as you can see on the left, we've got Jason, and he is based off of the Friday the 13th Part 3 film. And then you've got Freddy Krueger on the right, and he is based off of the first Nightmare on Elm Street film. So you've got Jason, he comes with the axe, as I have him displayed here, a very cool removable mask, and then he also comes with his iconic machete, and a spear gun. Like I said, this guy is just chock full of articulation. He's got articulation in the ankles, in the knees, in the hips, all sorts of ball joints underneath the clothing there, in the waist, the head, which is also on a ball joint. Not as much movement on this figure, mostly due to the collar and the size of the neck there. It's very short. Then he's got articulation in the shoulders, in the elbows, in the wrists. Really, really love the detailing on the clothing here. Lots of nice blood stains. Now, one thing to note about these figures is that because they're done in the Mego style sculpt, they do not have the foot pegs for you to use with the display stands. So that's kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, these guys stand up fairly well on their own. And for whatever reason, if you're having trouble getting them to stand up on a shelf, you can actually use a small, about a 7-inch scale doll stand, and those will work perfectly for these guys. So, just in case. But overall, love the definition on the face there. The mask looks fantastic. Comes off very easily and goes back on very nicely without scratching up the face at all. The clothing is very cool. Really, really dig this figure. Very cool addition to NECA's already very extensive Jason Voorhees line. Oh, he's not one to stand up now. Go figure. There we go. Close enough. You know what? Screw it. There you go. I apologize. The table in which I have the light box for my reviews, it can be a bit wobbly, so don't take that as a sign that these guys can't stand up on their own, because that's just the shitty stuff I have to work with at this point. So, anyways, jumping over to Freddy Krueger. This guy is absolutely fantastic. Really love the glove. Unfortunately, with every NECA Freddy Krueger, this is inevitable. You get it out of the package, and it always looks like the first two fingers on the claw look great, and then the second two are bent. Now the good news is, even though that looks absolutely hideous, that is an easy fix when you just take a like a hot, you can either take hot water, like boil some water in the microwave or on the stove, and then soak just the glove portion in there, and it makes the plastic more flexible, so you can actually just remold or bend these back into the right position. So I have not taken the time to do that just yet, but it is an easy fix. I would also suggest using something like a hair dryer or something like that. It might make the process just a little bit quicker. But overall, really love this Freddy Krueger figure. He comes with, obviously, the glove, and then the fedora. Great detailing on the face here. This actually looks even more hideous than the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1 figure that NECA released. Really love the detailing on this. As you can see, he's got his sweater, and you can kind of tell this is from the first film, because in the first film, he didn't have any stripes on his sleeves there. So this one just has the red. If anybody was wondering, has the jeans, shoes, and then get kind of a closer look at the glove here. Very, very cool. Like I said, I know it looks a little mangled right there, but very easy to fix. So don't let that deter you from picking up these cool figures. Same articulation applies on this guy. Shoulder, elbows, wrists, waist, head is on a ball joint. Lots more articulation on this guy because he's not as inhibited, so you can do that. He's got articulation in the ankles, knees, hips, etc. So overall, looks fantastic. Great head sculpt. Really did the makeup that Robert Englund has in the first film. Really does it justice. So, and then the fedora. Fedora you have to kind of prop on there. It doesn't sit nicely like it does with some of the other smaller figures, but it does, if you kind of push it down a little, it does hold on firmly enough, so it's not absolutely horrible. But this is a very cool figure. Really dig the costuming stuff on it. It's a little poofy on the sweater, yes, but honestly, for that retro style, I think it looks very, very cool. So overall, for 25 bucks for each of these guys, I was just very pleased to see such a very cool jump in NECA's use of the Mego style figures. These are very, very cool display pieces, and they're great, especially if you're big fans of like Freddy and Jason and the Nightmare on Elm Street series and the Friday the 13th series. So as far as future releases for this series, I know for sure that they're going to be releasing an 8-inch Ash from Evil Dead 2, I believe is the one they're going with for this. But it should be the Hero Ash, with the chainsaw and everything, and the boomstick, of course, from Evil Dead 2. And they've released a couple different pics already, and pre-orders are up on several sites right now, including Lindsay'sToyRoom.com, so I would suggest getting him ahead of time because I feel like this one's going to sell out probably a lot faster than the rest. These guys are fantastic, really, really love them, but I think the Ash one is going to be really, really sought after. So overall, very, very cool set. Love these figures, and if you're interested in collecting the more retro style pieces, these guys are fantastic. But there's one last thing that I would love to show you guys. One of the coolest things that comes with each of these guys that I have to note is the amazing artwork that is included on the packaging. Now, this is removable, and it's very easy to pop open the packaging and not destroy the cardboard backing, but this is actually, it looks like it's been made to display with the figure. So you have this really cool Jason Voorhees artwork, beautifully done, and then on the back you've got some, you know, basic descriptions about the figures and what the Mego style line looks like for these two guys. Give you kind of a look there. And that's Jason's. And then next you've got Freddy Krueger. And this one just looks fucking incredible. This should be like an album cover. Love this. The staircase and stuff, the dark shadows and everything. And I love how they did the lighting on his face and everything there. So cool. And of course it's got the Nightmare on Elm Street logo at the top. Very, very cool. So not only do you get some beautifully done figures, but you also get some very cool artwork, which I'm going to prop up back there, to go with each of these guys on display. So not only are you getting some very cool figures, but you get some really neat display options as well, which I thought was a very cool addition to these figures. So I'm really hoping they go the extra mile and they do that with some of their future Mego style figure releases. I know they're prepping some artwork right now for the Hero Ash Mego style figure, so that'll be very cool. From what they've shown of the work in progress for it, it looks just as badass as the artwork included with these two figures. So overall, blown away with the amount of detailing and effort and love that they put into this series. Very, very kick-ass way to start this whole horror line of retro figures. So very excited to see what they have in store for us in the future. But that's about it for this review. If you have any other questions about these figures, just leave them in the comments below. And check out some of my other reviews, including the they were previously released, but they have been since discontinued, the Mego style figures from Django Unchained that were released from NECA. So those are another collectible one that are kind of harder to hunt down these days, but very cool if you're into collecting these guys. So, but enough rambling, that's it. Thank you guys for watching.